Hello, my name is Sanguine, and I just wanted to see and discuss the new balance updates today. I mean, some good changes seem like they've been applied. The dev community has been doing a phenomenal job with keeping up with their game and ensuring that a lot of the pain points and things that have been going on, that the community feedback is being addressed, heard, identified, and effectively pushed. I mean, a lot of developers in the past for live service games have really struggled with keeping up with good constant updates. And I'm glad to see that the finals is continuing on. So let's get into it. Welcome to update 1.5.5. The only thing that you really need to get out of this, one, they have released a little survey, right, for the solo banking mode. I think that the game mode itself is pretty decent. I think it's pretty decent. Um, but I will say a couple things. For myself, one, I have always been a very big fan of Team Deathmatch and Deathmatch. I feel like Team Deathmatch might be a little mid in this game. I feel like a Deathmatch would just be kind of nice. Because I'm not a huge fan of the idea of kill confirm. And that's what Bank it is, right? It's kind of like a kill confirm mixed with kind of getting little cash outs so you can hoard even more money. I wish the game was more. Honestly, I wish that feature was kind of taken out where you could just kind of get a cash out. I wish it was just more kill oriented, especially for the solo mode. Maybe just up the amount of coins you get per kill and just go from there. I don't like the whole system where we're hunting for cash outs. I would rather it just be kind of this crazy brawl of people gunning each other down rather than there being more of a strict objective um that you can follow suit and kind of rat out instead. I don't know. That's my criticism of the game, but yeah. Uh Also, this right here was a big one. A note about the future. Based on your feedback and our own telemetry evaluation, we recognize that Recon Sense's ability for the medium build needs an overhaul, and we're working on that right now. You can look forward to that change and more in next week's update. That is huge. That is massive. And why is that massive? Well, right now, Recon Senses is kind of OP. And I'm not even gonna put it kind of. It's OP. It really is. Um, it is kind of in its current state. It is just a live feed of wall hacks when it's up. I think it should just be reworked. I think they should do a system where you get three charges, kind of like Dash, and with those three charges, you get about a second and a half after you press the input for it, right? You get about a second and a half of the wall hack, and you have that second and a half to look around you, identify what's going on around you, who's where, what's where, and from there after the second and a half it goes away and you make a decision on what to do next. I think that's how it should work. The cooldown for all that can be addressed by, the actual development team, but I feel like a system like that that promotes you using it, getting a quick burst of information, and then making an action based off of that information would be a lot better than just having a full on wall hack feed for you to do whatever with. I don't want them to go into the too clunky area where the ability just feels terrible to use, or in its current state where it's just too strong. I think with that system I suggested too, if you spam them all out, then you have a long cooldown to wait where you had nothing. But if you properly use them, use these charges for those snippets of information, you could keep it up a decent amount and you're getting snapshots of info rather than just a live feed of walls. I think the snapshot approach is probably much better than a live feed at all times, for as long as you have the thing up. In its current state, it's too much. So now that I gave my whole spiel about that, let's get into the balance changes. So for the gadgets, defib first. Decrease the length of invulnerability applied after a revive to 0.75 seconds from 1.5 seconds. I think that's a great change. For revives, they've done the same exact thing. I think that's a great thing, especially for the defibs, because it's going to promote less defib spam amongst teams, where people are actually going to have to fight it out a little bit rather than depending on, oh, well, if I go for the revive, then I have a second and a half window to hide behind my teammate, not take bullets, have him reload his gun, and then we open fire on the poor sucker that we were fighting. I feel like, and that strategy was a little cringe. It was a little, it just was not. The counter didn't even feel there. There was no counter to that strategy. It just felt awful. It felt awful to deal with, and I feel like it prioritized just everything wrong with defib about the concept of being able to revive your teammate like that. Um, I'm very happy because also this will probably promote less medium happy builds. Instead of everybody spamming medium, people might spread out because of this change. So I'm very happy about that. And Revive just to kind of follow suit with the change. I think it's really good. Weapons. Decrease the amount of bullet dispersion applied when aiming down sights for the 357 revolver. That's great, actually. The weapon has felt clunky for a while. I feel like that will definitely help when you're taking consecutive shots on a target, especially. I wish that wasn't there to begin with, especially since the revolver is such a punishing weapon to use should you miss your shot. Reduce damage on fall off start range to 23 from 35. So now we're nerfing the range. Uh, this is such a bad change on so many levels. Reduce damage fall off of end range to 40 from 50. What the revolver was good, but it's not the meta weapon, and it was not great in my opinion. It was good but not great. It was like a B plus. Honestly, maybe not a B plus. Honestly, B plus for like any random. But for a good player, it was probably like a solid A to A plus if you have the most cracked aim ever, right? But no, I'm gonna go with a solid A. And from the looks and sounds of it, this brings it down to like a solid to a, like a I don't even want to give it a B, like a B minus or C plus. I mean that is bad because now range wise, I don't think it's competing with the AK or the F car, which were the dominant weapons to begin with. All right, that's sad to see. That's a big L for the revolver. I don't know why they would nerf it. The CL40. So that's the medium grenade launcher. Increase player damage to 110 from 100. I think that's a good change, but I don't know if it helps. I think the big problem with the CL40 is the sheer fact that it provides so much visual clutter. I mean, first of all, it's a grenade launcher, so it's already going to have its ups and downs, but I think the fact that my big thing with it is especially when playing with randoms, they tend to friendly fire you by blowing up stuff around you, or if you're on a zip, sometimes they shoot the end of it because somebody's there and they break the zip and now you all fall. Or I feel like it has so many downsides that if used by somebody who's not particularly cracked with it, it just I don't know. I feel like something needs to be done with that rather than the damage because I felt like the damage was already pretty. pretty good. But I think either way, this is not a bad change. I feel like they need to address those for it. The F car decreased damage from 25 or to 25 from 26. I think this is overall a good step in the right direction, but I don't think this is affecting any thresholds. In fact, I'm 100% certain it doesn't. It's still going to take the exact same amount of bullets for body shots onto a target for all three of the classes. You're still going to need six consecutive body shots for light. You're still going to need 10 for medium. And you're still going to need 14 for heavy. Now, of course, this is in the ideal kill range, so maybe this is a good change when we take into account weapon damage fall off and the headshot multiplier for the F car. I think time will tell, but I think the most noticeable nerf would be if it was decreased to 24, because then it would take an extra shot across the board at all ranges to put somebody down. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what this does. But at the same time, I feel like if it takes that extra shot across the board, maybe it might be too much, and they would have to do something with the ammo. I don't know. Only time will tell. But they're a very active dev community, and so I feel like this is a good step in the right direction at the very least. However, I don't know. I feel like the AK is also a very strong gun, and decreasing the F car too much and making it not as good to use is just gonna lead everybody to just go to the AK. The only thing that's gonna happen is you keep messing with the F car, and all of a sudden it's just the AK spam. I don't know. We'll see. Guardian turret decreased health to 280 from 300. I think this is a solid change. I wish it was 250, but I think it's a solid change altogether, all things considered. This thing is still bulkier than a medium class person, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Only time will tell, right? The Guardian turret, especially, it's not the problem too with the Guardian turret wasn't if it was the strat of multiple Guardian turrets, 2 to 3 of them. That's where it becomes overwhelming, in my opinion. So I think this might be a good change for that, but who knows, man? Might have to see other thing. Might a little bit more of a health decrease, but time will tell. The MGL 32, aka the heavy grenade launcher, increasing the player damage 83 from 80. I think that's also a good change in the same way this is a good change for the medium grenade launcher. But I think the big problem with this grenade launcher is the same problem with this grenade launcher. It's all the clutter and chaos you kind of create that is detrimental to everybody involved except for the grenade launcher user. I think it's just kind of a mid team fight weapon in this game. I don't know. Time will tell, but either way, trying to do something is better than doing nothing. And I'm here to see where that takes these weapons. Throwing knives decrease the amount of projectile dispersion applied when falling. And same thing when sprinting. Okay, so that's good. That's a good change. So less spread when falling, less spread when sprinting. That's good. That's very good. Because I think this is going to enable the throwing knives to actually be better. Right? I think the big problem was never the damage of the throwing knives, but the clunkiness involved when using the throwing knives. I think this is going to help tremendously with that. And that was the big thing holding me back from a light throwing knife build. Because I would like to use dashes and throwing knives, and I feel like that would be a hilariously fun build. However, the big thing holding me back was the clunkiness. The clunkiness was terrible, and I feel like this might address that. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see in the next coming bit how people in the community like this change, and I'm gonna have to test it myself in the firing range. I'm not gonna do that here, but I kind of want. I'm interested. I really want to see the throwing knives be a viable option for light more than just a gimmicky. Oh, look what I can do on light. Content and bug fixes fixed an issue where certain GPUs would sometimes crash. Well, I can only see that being good. I mean, nice. Let's go. Good bug fix. Now for matchmaking, fixed an issue where crossplay settings would not be respected when the player was in party. Okay, that's a dub. That's a big dub right there, actually. So that means crossplay, especially on the console side. Since the aim assist nerf, I know that a lot of console players have been wanting to separate by input. And just play with console players that are all going to be playing on controller. You guys are so lucky. It's crazy how lucky you guys are to be able to do that. I would kill for that option to separate by input across every game that enables it. COD, Apex, and even this game, but it is what it is. That's a big dub for the console community, especially. I'm happy for them. Update and matchmaking configuration in tournament and ranked tournament modes to ensure closer matches by skill rating. Also, huge dub. They're fixing the rank system. The rank system right now or before this update was hot garbage. Further testing needs to be seen. We need to see what happens, but before it was hot garbage. It was like Apexes, where they're kind of putting you on time played and what your internal MMR is rather than the badge you have. I I don't know why games are not respecting the old archaic system of what rank you are is around what you're going to play. I feel like that is a very good system that did not need any fixing, and I feel like for the most part, everybody kind of enjoyed that. Playing with people around your rank was always good. And of course, if somebody who did not belong there, they would quickly rise up to their actual rank should they continue playing the game. I think that's what we need to go to. Hopefully, this kind of does that and this balances it rather than us seeing, gold and platinum players playing with the top 500 diamond players because that was a little absurd. Hopefully, platinum players aren't playing with silver players anymore. Hopefully, we can actually see good matchmaking. Hopefully, this provides a system where if you're low platinum, that you're playing with low platinum, high platinum, and maybe high gold. Hopefully things stay more in line with each other rather than being so sporadic. Uh, so overall, I think this is a great patch update. Um, Honestly, I kind of think the changes to the F car might be underwhelming, but time will tell. Especially, it's very hard to account for ranges and the headshot multiplier when looking at a straight value like this. I feel like that's why they chose 25 right instead of just jumping to 24 right away. So I'm eager to see what goes on there. And the revolver though, I gotta be honest. For the revolver and revolver users, I wasn't using the revolver despite being a heavy abuser of that thing in the beta and loving it so much. I haven't used it because it doesn't contend with the AK or the F car. This is a sad day for Revolver. It feels like they just kind of killed the thing before it could actually even be born and really take off into a nice solid place in the meta. Is what it is, but Hopefully they revert this, and hopefully they actually buff the range. That's kind of was what I was hoping for. I was hoping they got rid of the clunkiness and actually increased the range so it felt a little bit better to use, and you can kind of use it as a pseudo sniper in a way if you were actually that cracked with it, rather than I don't know. I don't know what this is. I mean, it feels like I might as well just use the shotgun over the revolver because what use am I truly getting out of this thing at range? I mean, at range, it's not competing with the AK and the FCAR anymore. Just looking at this, and I will show something in. But overall, I think good changes, except for the revolver. Let's get into the gameplay. So here we're gonna demonstrate. We're gonna demonstrate why the revolver change is an issue. And I'm going to do this personally with the FCAR, but the same logic can be applied with the AK because the AK and the FCAR are very similar with the exception of the technical DPS. The DPS on the FCAR is slightly higher. Not slightly. It's a little bit higher. It's kind of slight. Honestly, it is kind of just slight. It's slightly higher at the cost of your magazine capacity. So, look at this target here. That target is it's a good distance away from me. At this range for this target, I am able to one-click the target with the FCAR and still have a couple bullets to spare, which means for the AK, I can do the exact same thing. But if I pull out the revolver, a revolver typically being a high skill weapon, where you can use it across any range, but at the cost of you have to hit the shot, otherwise you lose. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6. 6 shots and a reload, and I haven't killed this guy over here. I can quickly one mag somebody out in the open, but I can't with the FCAR and the AK, but I can't do it with the revolver. I mean, that is sad. It takes 9 body shots with the revolver at long range. Why would I ever use the revolver when I could just use the AK or the FCAR and get better results? This patch is actually such a good change, except for this gun. I don't know what they're thinking is for this particular gun. Why would you do this to the revolver? It's so sad to see, but I just had to demonstrate that. I hope to see you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take it easy. Peace.